My name is Chris Horton, and I'm a historian, researcher, writer, and explorer of the unknown. My style is very old school, but with courtesy and respect for the dead. My work takes me to undiscovered places, hidden realms and ancient spaces, which are hitherto unknown to the modern world or seldomly explored. These mostly forgotten relics of tales yet to be shared and dark secrets rarely shown. As a former police detective, I have no fear of the dead, but a respect and a willingness to learn and share as you join me on another journey back into the shadows of time and to those that passed before us. In this special edition, I return to the scene of some of my most notable hauntings, the bunker site at the remains of the former airbase of RAF Rivenhall in Essex, England, a place that has captivated viewers for over 15 years and has provided some amazing phenomena. But firstly, some history. Just wandering around in here, you can feel, if you like, a reverb of the past as you wander through these empty buildings. You can just imagine the air crews that breathe in, and it's one of the few perhaps that's been preserved in its original state. Its history dates back to 1943, when it was actually built by a private contractor, which was highly unusual at that time because most contracts were completed by the military. But obviously with the rush towards D-Day in 1944, there was a certain urgency for the impending invasion of France. And certainly one of the first squadrons to arrive here was the United States Army Air Force P-51D Mustangs, which were here for around 2 months. Sadly, on a raid over Hamburg in Germany, 11 pilots lost their lives, and so perhaps this site is stained and haunted by those lost men who never returned. And certainly a few months after that, the squadron left and were reoccupied here by a squadron of Marauder bombers. In fact, the designer of the Marauder bomber, a man by the name of Ed Magruder, was actually here at this airfield for proving trials on the aircraft because they were relatively new. The squadron which was here had taken part in a number of operations into occupied enemy territory, also bombing Berlin, France V2 rocket sites, and destroying railways and railway infrastructure. In fact, their speciality was taking out enemy bridges, and they were known as the Bridge Busters. Following the invasion of France in 1944 on the 6th of June, the squadron was required to move much closer to enemy lines and transfer their operations over into France. And the slack was taken up by the RAF, operating short Stirling bombers from here, which were engaged in towing Quonset gliders for a number of military operations, and also working covertly for the Special Operations Executive by taking supplies into occupied territory to keep the forces rearmed and ready for the larger invasion which was taking place. Following the end of World War II, the squadron was used to repatriate prisoners of war. They were also engaged in mail runs and other lighter duties where, of course, military action was no longer required as the war had ended. And shortly afterwards, the squadron was disbanded and the site became empty. Until, of course, 1949, when part of the site was reopened for a mass of Polish refugees who, for obvious reasons, could not return back to Poland, which was now taken over by a pro-Russian communist government. And many of those people lived here until 1959, by which time the majority had been rehomed either in the UK or in some cases they had actually emigrated to the United States of America. Also around this time, a number of homeless people came to live here, and it was known as the Wayfarers Camp. These people were mostly ex-military personnel who found it very difficult to return back to civilian life after an arduous period of their life taken up by World War II. And we believe that one of those persons who was engaged so was a man by the name of Reg or Rog, who is still here in spirit and very much in the forefront of many of our investigations that have taken place here in the past. And let me tell you about my first engagement with Reg. Where I'm actually standing now was the main entrance we used to access the bunker by, and as you can see, the door and the surrounding building itself is in a state of dereliction. But he was here the first night we came here. We actually saw a man standing here smoking a cigarette with the collar of his jacket pulled up, with a mass of black wavy hair. And the guy I was with at the time said, "There's someone there in residence." I said, "No, I just felt this wasn't real. This was a manifestation." So I shone my flashlight from where the camera is to this spot, and the figure disappeared completely. And that's where we are tonight, in the haunted bunker. Any of you that have been following me over the years would have seen a lot of the video that was captured here of paranormal activity. And tonight I'm obviously not on my own. I'm actually joined by Sean Kim, who used to come over here as part of the group and carried out a lot of investigations in the past, and also his friend Paul. Paul lives in Halstead, and Sean, of course, now lives in Kent. And for this special evening investigation, he's come over here to join us. I have to point out that outside it's overcast, heavy rain and very wet. So this is probably the best place to carry out any form of paranormal investigation. And before Sean comes over, I'll just, if you'd like to come over, Paul. What's your interest in the paranormal? I'll just take this off because then we can hear you better.
It's just curiosity, really. I've had a few experiences before and I'm interested to find out more.
Anything exciting you want to share?
Well, as I said to Sean tonight, I was woke up in the early hours of the morning. I used to share a bed with my son when he was 5. I had a one-bedroom flat in Sybil Headingham, and someone was leaning over my son.
You actually saw the figure?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, very, very clearly. I was leaning over my son, was looking at my son, looked up at me as I was looking at them, and then just looked down at my son and slowly disappeared.
And who was this person?
I have no idea.
Was it a man or woman? Or?
I would have said it was a man from the size, but I could be wrong.
Right, so it was like a shadow form.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was like a dense, smoky figure.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was one of my interests.
Well, here you can anything can happen here. You could see a full apparition. You could see strange lights, which actually reflect light. They become solid mass sometimes. Sometimes you might see a mini cyclone that's been captured here. Lots of EVP that's been captured here, and also other weird phenomena that's been caught in the past. And I'm certainly looking forward to this because I haven't been here for a few years. It's like coming home again. Yeah, it's definitely quite interesting.
Yeah.
And then what I'm going to do now, if you could take over the camera, Paul, I'll bring Sean over. Well, Sean, nice to see you again.
And you, mate.
Yeah.
Been a long while.
It was it's been a few years since we both came over here, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you can tell a few experiences here, can't you?
I can, and I'll tell you what, when we come in here tonight, it was really dense. I could really feel
I felt it too.
Really strong.
Yeah, the energy, the atmosphere coming in here was very, very heavy and intense. Obviously, it's pointless me asking you what you're hoping to capture here tonight because anything could be caught here, and it's always new phenomena, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
And there is, of course, a resident spirit we've dubbed as Reg, and he's put on some amazing apparitions in the past.
Yeah.
And we've also captured a lot of EVP from American service personnel who were based here, presumably during World War II. And coincidentally enough, Sean is half American, and we were at another building on the site one year, and we'll show you the clip straight after. And you said, "Oh, someone's just spoken to me." And it was an old man with an American accent, and he said, "Hi, Sean, how are you?" Have a look at this clip here.
I've just heard someone speak in this room.
I mean, we still don't know who that was, do we?
Nah, I could just think it was my granddad, but I don't know.
So there is an American connection here through Sean, so that might obviously generate a bit more activity. But I'm certainly looking forward to it. We're going to concentrate on the bunker. We may go into one of the Nissen huts. I think the nearest one is probably the most active. And also the corridor leading in to the actual bunker area. Anyway, without further ado, we're going to carry on the investigation. We've got 2 camcorders on night. We've got the Panasonic that you've seen at Baconsfort Castle and elsewhere, and one of the old Hi8 camcorders. Well, thank you for coming over, Sean.
Thank you.
And, of course, to Paul.
Thank you.
As with all of our investigations here, I'm going to open up to camera, and hopefully one of the resident spirits that we've encountered here in the past we've dubbed as Reg, and he has, when he's decided to join in, has put on some really amazing light shows. So anyway, let me open up now. Hopefully we can continue from there. Okay, we come here in love, light and peace. We mean you no harm and disrespect. We've come here before in the past, and we've made meaningful contact here with spiritual presence we've named as Reg or Rog. And I know that you're here. I could feel your energy as soon as I walked in. And we're only here for an hour or so. We just wondered whether you would want to make yourself aware to us. It's been a long time. When we used to come here before, you were almost part of the team, wasn't he, Sean?
Yeah, he was, yeah.
Because we always expected him to be here when we were working. So if you could show yourself or make some meaningful level of contact with us, and I've just seen it, I just see a light flash over there. So hopefully Reg or Rog is going to show something. But this is a very exciting place. Many, many things could happen here tonight, or indeed nothing at all. But I'm feeling the energy in here, and it is very, very, very strong. It's almost overpowering. Rog, can you hear me? I'm calling to you. He's over here. I feel his energy over here. Sometimes you'll see on camcorder, when the camera is flashing around the room, there'll be a solid point of light which also follows with the camera. It's not the camcorder, it is him watching us. There's something quite different. There's a weird kind of feel about this. I'm not actually tapping into any individuals tonight. I mean, sometimes I can come on to the airfield and I can pick up a lot of activity from different people, but tonight it's not coming across that way. But that we are certainly being followed, we're being monitored everywhere we go in this building, and also in the bunker. We come in love, light and peace.
There's an orb hovering right next to you.
Yeah, there's somebody here.
Right next, it's still there.
Where? Left or right?
It's to your left, and it's
left.
going behind you. It's hovering. It's gone now.
Oh yeah. They don't like the light, but we're being, as I said, we are being followed around. There he goes, look. There he goes.
Coming over.
Yeah. And he's back again. Now, it's just coincidental, isn't it? There's a strong breeze blowing through here, and yet that anomaly is moving against the breeze. I'll just show you, we've got windows there, and we've got doorways there. And the breeze blows through, also both ways, but...
And it's still going towards the wall.
Yeah. Very noisy out here.
There it is. There, look.
Where?
In the middle, near the window.
Oh, right, yeah. Interesting, isn't
I've
it?
never seen that before.
No, it would be...
That's standing still. That's sort of hovering, but standing in one place.
Well, that's normally a reg trick to hover in one spot. I've seen him do that before. He actually draws on the energy of other spiritual presences here, and when that becomes more active, there you go, there it's back again. Yeah, it just came across the wall again. Reg, if that's you, could you show yourself, please? Could you come forward? Or if that is a snowdrop, military policeman, could you come forward, please?
It's still there. Wow.
I'm going to walk forward and just film me as I'm walking to it and see if there's any reaction.
Okay. It's behind you now. It's to your left and a bit forward, and it's coming towards me, and now it's back.
And of course the other phenomena that we've seen here, and of course there has to be bats in here, although there's nowhere for bats to lodge in this building. We've also captured the phenomena of bats, and on one occasion we actually captured a bat going into a concrete ceiling. All these are phenomena created by one person. And of course the Americans and Brits that served here, they too come across as EVP. Okay, if you guys just want to film around, I'm just going to stand here and see what happens. Do you remember that night when I stood over there and we heard a rattlesnake?
Yeah.
And that really made me jump, didn't it?
Yeah.
And you said, it made you jump.
Yeah, because I was laughing.
Just over there. I can't say any more than that. It's what I'm feeling. It's very, very strong. Rog, if you're here with us tonight, could you give us an indication, please, of your presence? We mean me no offence. We come into this. Do you hear that?
Yeah.
Shh. Thank you. That made me jump, actually.
I know.
Please, can you give us a sign of your presence here tonight? Could you say something? Could you make a noise? Just to the camera very quickly, Sean. You might hear that's raindrops actually coming through the ceiling of the concrete building. So you're going to hear a lot of that tonight. Nice.
Well, like metal.
Yeah. Look, it's like electronic click.
No, I just heard that, but I
Yeah.
don't know where it's coming from.
This building over here, this is a inaudible. A bit of history here. This was erected by the Essex Police for a short period for firearms training, and it was abandoned after a couple of years. But we've also picked phenomena up in the upper regions of this particular building.
I've just got an orb come flying up.
Yeah. Oh, it's definitely going to start off.
Plus, my head.
Can you feel it?
Yeah, I was about to say my head's starting to go, so
It's really
it's getting
building up.
stronger.
There is a very
It's just,
strong
I've
energy.
I've just heard someone over
Yeah.
to my left, but it was sort of like a whimper. Someone going, like that.
Let's hope it's translated to the SD card.
I just look for that.
There's always, all you ever see in here is one bat. You never see two, you never see three, it's always one bat. And that, I believe, is Reg or Rog.
With a white belly, and bats
The
don't.
white belly,
yeah,
yeah.
bats don't have white bellies. Yeah, he's always got a white belly.
Are there any American service personnel here? Could you make yourself known, please? There's lights flashing in the other building. I'm thinking, Paul,
Yeah, they've just seen an orb go through there. So
do you want to film in this building? In this side of the building, sorry, it won't be that far from us, but we tend to get a lot of activity in here. Yes, it's over here. Just very quickly, Paul is on the other night cam, is now in the corridor, the entrance corridor into the bunker, and Sean and I are going to remain inside the bunker. So hopefully between the pair of us there, on cameras at least, we can pick up something.
he's in here.
Oh, he's definitely with us.
Yeah. Oh, there he is again. Yeah.
What are you getting, mate?
I'm getting one keeps flying round here.
What, a bat again?
No, an orb.
An orb, okay. Are there any members of the 9th Air Force here, please? Anybody that flew to Schweinfurt? There's a lot of lights in there as well. Please, can you give us a sign, please? Could you say something? Could you make a noise? The funny thing about EVP, it tends to happen when you're talking, doesn't it?
Can you see me,
Most
Sean?
distracted.
Sean,
Yeah.
can you see me?
Yeah.
Yeah. What?
No, it feels like I've got someone to my right, but I can't pick nothing up. I didn't know if you could see the angle I couldn't see.
It's in here. Sean, let's go in here.
It's colder in here, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really dropped. It was alright, it's fine.
Yeah.
We picked up some stuff in here, haven't we?
Yeah. I don't like it in here.
Down by the window.
Oh, something just flew at us. Yeah, something just come at us. Don't know if it's an insect or not, but
Bit cold for insect. Well, no, it's still active, aren't they?
what that is.
It's a bit nippy tonight, but it's not freezing.
No, the temperature's definitely dropped in this part of it.
Yeah, it's the concrete roof next door. Acts like a radiator that stores the heat from the planet.
Oh, what's over here?
This part is shielded, it's covered over with trees so it doesn't get the heat. Here is this is the corner and a lot of stuff isn't it? So
Yeah.
the pressure, you know? It's coming down on you. This wave of energy.
That is dropped. Since we've been in here.
Yeah.
getting
Hopefully they're going to say something. Let's walk down here. Just one more. Do you remember this window? We always had the impression of
Someone was looking. Yes, someone was looking through it, weren't they?
looking for aircraft to come in. That was very, very strong here, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Definitely on my right. It's almost like I'm standing half in somewhere and half in somewhere else, because my right side is a lot cooler than my left, but I can't find anything.
Yeah, I'm feeling very light-headed in this room.
It's definitely warmer in here.
Pressure's building up on my head now again.
Trying to find it. There you go. Trying to see if I can see anything related to it.
This small room to listen up next door briefly.
Yeah. Come this way, Paul.
Never done this
No, you walk with the camera you top. Bush cam.
Yeah, we've captured some activity in here, a lot of EVP as well, haven't we?
Yeah, and Reg down the bottom. That's an insect.
I'm just seeing how far it can throw.
Yeah.
It's struggling to hit the bottom.
It is a little bit, yeah. I can just about make it out the bottom.
Yeah. It's a long distance, isn't it?
It's right in short, close quarter. If you look down the bottom. Right. So if you look down the bottom of that corner is where I caught it.
Turn to my left.
No, yeah, no, right.
Oh, over here, sorry.
Well, where we're going.
Any spirits to this building? Could you give us an indication, please? Your presence, we come here in love, light and peace. We don't mean you any harm or disrespect. Any service personnel from the RAF or the United States Army Air Force? Just very quickly on the camera, we're actually inside a demountable building known as the Nissen Hut, or in America it's called a Quonset hut. I understand they call them Quonset huts because they were built in a company called Quonset built them. But these buildings were invented by a man called Peter Nissen in World War I, and of course they were the standard of temporary accommodation throughout World War II. They were built all over the world. Just basically, they're a semicircled shaped corrugated building with concrete ends, and they could be put up literally within a couple of days. And this is the building, isn't it? This is this is the room that we heard the tapping, wasn't it?
We had the tapping. We was out the back there, weren't we?
Have a look at this clip. This is the building where we heard the tapping, and it's also the building where we actually picked up a ghost on camera, as you can see in this clip.
Can you feel anything? I feel as if there's someone in here.
It's changing. It's definitely, the energy is definitely here. He's quite strict as wind on the building. He's quite an authoritarian, but he's morally correct. He's not a corrupted person. What the hell was that? Someone tapping.
Yeah. There's a door here.
It's interesting.
There's a door right beside me.
Is that where you heard it?
Yeah.
I thought I heard it in the roof.
I thought I heard it on the roof.
Perhaps it's above them,
I'll just
but it was to my left.
I thought I heard it up here. I could hear someone, just about there.
Yeah, tapping.
Yeah, it's like someone tapping on the roof. There's somebody else here playing games, so why don't you show yourself? Why are you hiding? We haven't come here to cause problems, we haven't come here to disrupt. We've just come here to make friendly and peaceful contact. So why you've got to be like this? Why are you doing this?
Got a headache again.
Ask it to stand back.
Can you stand back for a minute, please? It's because I'm in the corner.
Here we go again.
No. Thank you.
Thank you.
There's no wind at the moment, and if it was a branch, you'd hear the scraping on top of the corrugated iron as well as it banging. And it's actually somebody tapping. And we've been coming over here for a amount of years now, and we've been here when it's been windy and I've never ever heard a branch tap on top of the roof before.
No, because if it would be continuous, and we would have heard this before. I mean, sometimes we come in here late at night and there's been a bird that we've disturbed and it's flew off.
Yeah.
But that's it. But this asked for a sign and we got the taps back again. At this point, I felt the presence move away from the building and outside, and I decided to follow.
I've never been out this way.
You used to be able to walk right round the back of that, look.
It's all blocked off now,
Yeah.
the vegetation. Can you give us a sign, please? I know you're out here because that's why we're here. We're here to see if we can contact you.
Probably. I reckon you scratched it, mate. Mine was like that when I got a bit of dust in it. And when I rubbed it, it scratched the surface.
Hang on, guys. I can feel something.
I just heard someone whisper something.
Yeah, no, that was a bird, I think. Hang on, guys. I can feel something.
I just heard someone whisper something.
Yeah, no, that was a bird, I think. No, it feels, to use a pun, dead out here, doesn't it? Yeah. Let's go back in, guys. We'll make our way back.
Was that you then? Paul?
Huh?
Was that you?
What?
I just heard.
Yeah, that's what I just heard.
Oh, that was me, that was me.
That's what I was asking. Was that you?
Sorry. I'm holding my breath, honey. I don't know why.
You're bricking it?
No.
You are.
Can you please give us an indication? Is Reg or Rog, you made yourself known to me in here by banging on the roof. Could you do that again, please?
Yeah, I caught you on camera, so it'd be nice to do it again.
Oh, well, you caught the ghost, and
Yeah.
we didn't know it was there, did we?
For about a week.
Yeah, it was so short. He literally appeared for a couple of seconds.
What, down the way you're going?
Yeah.
Yeah, just roughly here where I am. Chris was just over there. Deanne was here, I was where you were, and he was roughly standing here, wasn't he?
There's a door out here.
Yeah, it's a doorway. You can't, it's pointless going out there, it's covered in brambles.
Yeah, no. I was just going to make it out.
And it was in here, Sean, we captured the sound of icy flashes, wasn't it?
It was in here, yeah.
We packed the camera gear, we packed our camera gear into a bag, but forgot to turn the camcorder off, and as we're walking away with the bag, you can hear a voice of an American saying, "I see flashes." So he's talking on radio.
And down in the corner over there is where Michelle caught "Get away from me" when she got ill.
Oh, yeah, she was
Remember?
overshadowed.
That was in the daytime, wasn't it? That's one of the first ones we come over.
Sean's sister Michelle came with us one night. She stood in the corner of the Nissan hut and she was overshadowed. She felt quite ill. And when we reviewed the video clip, at the point she virtually collapsed, didn't she? Yeah. At that point, we heard this voice saying, "Get away from me," a very sharp and aggressive voice, which we know was Reg or Rod. And when we went into the bunker, we had a light facing up on the ceiling, and around the edge of the light, the circular edge of the light, we saw a black shadow of a cat walking around the light beam, sniffing. Yeah, and of course there was no cats in the room. There was no cats that would have been able to have projected themselves on the ceiling. Unfortunately, that's not on camera.
This is where I always sense something down this corner.
This is where we caught the light of Reg radiating. It was just running along the edge of the wall. It was literally a light, and it just went right across here, didn't it?
Yeah.
And out towards the door. I think that was the same night that we picked up the banging as well. Yeah, that was really weird. He was definitely trying to make a level of contact with us, definitely.
I'm not sure if I just heard voices then.
I think that was the rain on leaves, but I'm not sure.
I don't know, it sounded like a kid's voice. Weird.
Hopefully there's no kids here.
No, that was a bit weird though.
I can't see bugger all, put the light on. What's doing for time?
Half an hour.
Sorry?
We've been on half an hour.
Half hour. Okay, we'll have a short break then. We'll leave one of the cameras to run, because that's often when we pick up all the EVP.
Yeah, I was just thinking whether to try and put it. Where the hell there've been one in here. I've got
Yeah, we've tried it. We've never picked anything up in on its own. It's always been in that
I felt more in the other
passageway.
Yeah, that's where I felt more.
Yeah, in the corridor. I think when it happens in here, Sean, it's
when
because
we-
he's followed us in here.
Yeah. Oh, there's a bit hanging down there.
Did we walk that far down?
No, we got to go out there.
Just
Look.
very quickly, Sean, can you bring the camera over?
Yeah, Paul gets out of the way. Fat boy.
One night when we were here, the first night I came here, I caught a tornado shape, and it was reacting to me. If I moved to the right, it moved to the left, and vice versa. Eventually it distracted me, and it literally turned like a tornado and it went straight out the doorway, and it was just here. Colin, well active in here, very active. I've got one right in front of me. It's turning. It's it's manifesting itself. It's changing. Shit. It's on the floor now. There it's back again. Look from my viewfinder. See?
On the right hand side?
In the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah. It comes closer. Can you come closer, please? Can you come closer? He's holding back. And that was the first time I actually experienced Rog in spirit form. Right, let's go over through. There's a funny smell here. You know what it smells like? Waterproofs. You know the kind of gear.
Plasticky sort of.
Yeah.
No, I didn't smell it. I must have gone with it somewhere.
Very quickly. We just had a wander round. We spent about half an hour having a look round. Hopefully there's stuff there that you've just witnessed. We're now going to have a short break, but we will keep one of our camcorders on, and I think we'll use Paul's camera. And if you put the camera over here, Paul. What I'll do is just point it towards us and let it run. You want that, mate?
That other building, we walked down that narrow corridor, or whatever it was. Don't forget, I've never been in. Shuts it.
We're now going to commence the second half. We did around 30 minutes of filming. The thing about this site is it only lasts for about an hour or so before it goes dead again. So we've done 30 minutes and we've had a short break, and hopefully you may have heard EVP during that break, and now we're going to continue in here for half an hour and hopefully do a short session with the ghost box.
I thought I heard voices over in that corner. Just there.
Right in the doorway.
Yeah, just over there.
I always feel apprehension when I come over here, do you, Sean? You don't get that apprehension anywhere else, but you always feel an apprehension before you come here.
There's always something different happening when you come over.
Oh yeah, the
The same
activity. It was in here one night. I took a series of 3 photographs, and it was like a blob, a white blob with a blue light, like a police blue light, but extended on top. And as I was taking a flash photograph, the light was reflecting off the blob, so the blob was solid mass. I took 3 photos, and it gradually broke up and disappeared. And you can see these photographs here, and it was in this room. I'm not really worried. Somebody else in here was filming, I think it was Sean from Ireland, and he never saw anything on the camcorder, and yet I picked that up on the digital still. And this often happens in here. One camcorder can pick something up and not the other, or on one occasion we had a bird, didn't we, that just came up.
Yeah, it was on my camera, I caught it, but Dee was over a bit further away, so she could see right in front of you, and there was nothing.
But, and it came from the wrong, it did come out, but from the wrong angle. It was just bizarre. You felt someone was coming through, didn't you?
Looking to the right of the frame from Sean's camcorder, you can clearly see a bird-like anomaly with striped wings descending. However, viewed from Deanne's more distant camera lens, there is absolutely no sign of the anomaly on view.
You felt someone was coming through, didn't you?
Weird.
Are you here, Rog? Oh, I'm feeling really cold now. I know it's warm in here, but I'm really cold down my back.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Come towards me. Come on. Yeah, I'm still following you. He's gone up to the ceiling. There he is.
What is it?
Pulsing light.
Oh, yeah. I've just caught it for a second, yeah.
Someone just told me look at the doorway and it come through and then straight up.
Please, can you give us a sign that you're here? Rog, where is your cat? I've seen your cat here a few times, black cat. I actually saw it one night, physically, and it disappeared. It ran into a building. Can you show us that? I guess that might have been his pet cat when he was alive. The white shape just flashed down the wall over here. I actually saw it with naked eye. Just here. It's like a grey, it was very faint, it was grey. And it went whoosh.
Someone talking.
It's Paul, isn't it?
No, there's someone talking. Did you hear that?
I didn't hear it, it wasn't me.
No, I thought you said walking.
No, talking.
No, I didn't hear that.
Sounded like someone was having a conversation through the other end. But I've been hearing that all night. What was that? I'll just put my hand on. But it sounds female.
See what's the camera? I'm picking up American service personnel, military police. I'm seeing a guy who's about 5'8", maybe a bit smaller, young guy, probably about 21, 22, white helmet, white spats, army khaki tunic and trousers, and he's got a white baton. I'm sure there's security here in spirit, I really am.
Right, there's just been a white flashing orb just go past you and up into the top of the rafters up there. Or something just shot past your head, but I don't know if it was.
Yeah, I got that as well.
Oh, was it? It looked white to me. I don't know if it was.
Well, I got it off your camera, sort of shadow.
Yeah, because that light that's being projected, it's going to...
Whoa, look at that. When you look at this back, oh my God. Chris, look, see, There's one there, but there was there. It was like that length, and it was above your head.
Things don't change here, do they?
No.
Be nice to see a light anomaly, but something, you know, that is really unexplainable.
Be nice to see Reg pop his head out.
Yeah, someone gives us a sign or something.
Like he did last time I caught him, and he didn't think I did.
The spirits, you're aware that Sean, you've met him before, you've met me, but Paul has never been here before. If you want to show yourself to him. I'm still seeing a lot of white flashes and little red dots. Do you remember one night I was talking about if we can get one of the lights to work, Sean?
Yeah.
And we got this really incredible EVP, the voice said should have lubed it.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Was that in here?
No, that was out there. We were having a chat, we were standing by that old cooker that was on the side. We were having a chat there, and we were talking about the light wouldn't work. I was trying to get the light to work, and then we captured the EVP, which we obviously didn't hear.
Yeah.
And he said, should have lubed it. It was so funny. Anything, Sean?
No, it seems to have died down.
Yeah, it's what normally happens in here, doesn't it?
Even the atmosphere's not
It's
so.
not as intense.
No.
Yeah, they normally give us about an hour, don't they? And they get bored with us. Mind you, the ghost box will really change.
Yeah. We'll have a go with that in a minute. Yeah, I'm not getting nothing now, nothing at all.
Okay, we've done about an hour. With the bunker, if any activity occurs, it's normally within 60 minutes, and after that it tends to blow itself out. So we're going to call it an end of the session, but we're not quite finished, because what we're going to do is a short session using the PSB7, the ghost box, which will be recorded to the night cam that Sean's got, and hopefully they may come across. They certainly did when we came here during the day towards dusk. We picked up a lot of EVP. Of course, there's no guarantee that tonight we're going to pick up any of that, but it's worth a try. Anything at all, Paul?
No.
Nothing? No. Okay, we'll have a short break and then we'll do the ghost box session.
Yep.
We left another cam to run during our break, but sadly no further EVP was captured.
Well, like I say, I didn't see as much as Sean did, but I think, like I say, 17, 42 and 52 minutes.
Okay, we've had our last break. We've been here well over an hour. We're going to do a 15-20 minute session with the PSB7 or ghost box, and we're going to do it on the floor, and we're going to use that camera to pick up the audio. The only thing that I don't like about ghost boxes is they do generate a lot of radio noise, and I know some people don't like them, but we try and moderate it as best as possible so you don't get too much of that horrible clicking noise. And we're going to do it on the floor here inside the bunker. Okay, you've got the box there, Paul.
We then set up and ran the PSB7, but nothing was captured that would be defined as paranormal.
Shut up, you hear that? Whereabouts?
Okay, we've been here the best part of 2 hours now, and certainly we've picked up some interesting stuff. Look, what you must remember with this building, The first 60 minutes is critical if you're going to pick up any form of activity. After that, it tends to tail off and you get absolutely nothing at all. We certainly picked up a few interesting bits and pieces, and Sean will come over in a minute and talk about that, and also Paul. But we picked up certainly a little bit on the ghost box, but the session wasn't, in my opinion, it didn't appear that they wanted to talk. And this is so common with this place. When they talk to you is when you least expect it. And quite often you pick up some amazing EVP. And again, you will be privy, as I'm talking to you now, of already knowing what EVP has been captured. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's a nostalgia for me to return back to the haunted bunker at the airfield. And here we are now, filming and having an investigation here. I'm going to bring over Paul very quickly while Sean's on the camera. Okay, you were on the camera tonight, Paul.
Yep.
What did you pick up?
I think I've picked up 3 orbs. I was a bit late on getting them. They seemed to be in the corner of the camera.
Yeah.
There's one at about 15 minutes, one at 42, and one at 52. Through into the other building where I felt hot and cold, literally like I'd been cut in half.
Yeah, it's the temperatures here is quite diverse. The other interesting thing about the airfield is that quite often when you're filming, you don't actually see what's being recorded, do
No.
you, Sean?
Yeah.
Sometimes we've been here and we thought we picked up nothing at all, and then we've sat down and gone through it, and there's a strange light anomaly that was never spotted, or
Yeah.
or a figure was there, or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
But so we don't know until we go through the videotape. We don't actually know what's there. But from what you've seen, you've captured a little bit of activity, haven't
Yes,
you?
yeah, definitely.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah, no, it's been fantastic.
Have you enjoyed your
Yeah.
guest session here
Yes,
tonight?
I have. Yeah, it's been great. Yeah,
I never
love to
knew
do
he
it
was
again.
coming tonight until the last minute when he arrived with Sean, but I'm glad he's here. It's been nice meeting you,
It's an
Paul.
awful surprise for you.
Yeah.
just picked it up on the way.
So, well, thanks for coming along, and of course, hopefully we'll have something and you'll be able to see what we've
Lovely.
got, the fruits of our labours. Now, if you would swap over with Sean,
Look forward to it.
and then I'll chat with Sean to finish off. Okay, what's your verdict about tonight? What do you think you've got?
Well, picked up lots of orbs, flashing orbs as well.
Yeah.
And over in the corner over there, I actually caught it with it had a like a tail on it as well. And when you was in the middle as well, it must have been about that big, and it was just floating above your head.
Wow.
Just a long one, and then it shot off. Apart from that, the atmosphere's been going up and down, and all night I've been hearing a woman talking, and you two haven't heard it until the very last bit.
Yeah, we heard
And
it
then
right
you
at the
heard
end.
it, yeah. But I've heard her all night, so I don't know why I've been hearing her.
There were women working here, as obviously working part of the entertainment here because they had to provide base entertainment for the troops, women that worked in the kitchens, and women that were employed in secretarial duties, because in the administration area, for example. So it's quite possible that we may have picked up
Been
something
picking up
there. Anyway, are you going to join us on another investigation in the near future?
Yeah, it could be another 4 years from now.
We're up to Santon very soon, but we'll get something done there. But thanks very much, mate, for coming along.
Yeah.
And as I said to Paul, I'll keep you abreast of what we actually got here tonight. I've been certainly pleased with what we have picked up thus so far. But again, as I said to Paul, it's until I go through the videotape, you really don't know what you've got. This is just the crazy part about this place. There's something which is so obvious sometimes, you can't understand why you never saw it. And that's happened a few times, isn't it? Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us tonight at the Haunted Bunker. Pity about the ghost box session, but again, that's variable. But with regard to everything else, it's certainly been a very interesting investigation. And my thanks to those in spirit here. We obviously don't want to interfere with you any longer than necessary. Thank you, Reg or Rog. I know you're about here tonight. And that's the other thing when we came here. The atmosphere was very intense, very heavy, wasn't it, for about 40 minutes. And then it just suddenly faded away. Yeah. Probably if we did the ghost box session when we got here, we would have got a result. Because we did that the last time we came here. We came straight in and did a ghost box session. I think perhaps next time I come here in the future, we'll do the ghost box session first and then the investigation second. Anyway, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, and I hope you've enjoyed this little trip back through Haunted Earth nostalgia by return to the Haunted Bunker. Thank you. and good night.